native to Africa. And like other ibis species, they have that nice long curved bill. That curved bill is pretty amazing. They can feel things. Oh, you can make sure you stand up. Elizabeth is pretty young and she's very interested in a lot of things that people have. We're trying to teach her good people manners, which is a work in progress. So if Elizabeth's looking interested in what you have or what you are doing, if you can just make sure you lift it up away from her and kind of ignore her, just like a new puppy you don't want jumping on you. We're trying to teach her to have good manners around people. What Floyd here is a Hadada ibis. They get their name from how they sound. They make a ha-da-da call. It's called an onomatopoetic name. Now we do have several ibis species. Elizabeth, here. We do have several ibis species in this room. One of them is the Hadada. We also have a straw-necked ibis and scarlet ibis. Again, you can tell ibises apart from other birds based on that nice long curved beak that they have. Scarlet ibises are bright pink and they kind of look like little baby flamingos. So if you see pink birds that are way high up in the tree but have that nice long curved beak, that is probably a scarlet ibis rather than a flamingo. Flamingos don't perch in trees. Okay, let's see who else we want to talk about. We also have Clint, is our cattle egret down over here. He's a white bird with a darker legs, yellow beak, and brown on his head, chest, and back. Now, cattle egrets were found mostly in the western half of the United States. They would fall around herds of bison or buffalo. And as those herds were moving through, they would fall behind them and eat all the bugs that those bison picked up. Unfortunately, we decimated those bison populations, but we did introduce domestic cattle. And these birds treat domestic cattle the same way. They follow them around and eat the bugs that they pick up. Now we have domestic cattle all over the United States, so these birds have actually expanded their range into the eastern half of the United States as well. You can now see them in Florida and a lot of those southern states on the eastern half of the United States. So they've expanded their range. We also have our blue-bellied roller. This is Malcolm. He's that bird with those bright blue on his wings. Now, blue-bellied rollers are native to Africa. They get their name in part from that bluish color on their chests. The other part of their name comes from how they fly. These birds can actually do barrel rolls in the air, both to catch flying insects and to display potential mates. Once they select a mate, they do nest in tree cavities, so again, those trees are very important to them. Okay. Let's see if we get a couple more birds come up and visit us. See if our gold-breasted starling wants to come down here. So this is our golden-breasted starling. You can see on his back he has those beautiful jewel-like colors, those blues and those purples. Now golden-breasted starlings are found in Africa, but those really pretty colors you see on his back aren't a true pigment. They're kind of a trick of the light. It's very hard for nature to make those blues and purples, so nature finds ways around it. There's actually little microscopic air pockets in those feathers that reflect light like a prism. So if you took that bird into a dark room, it would look black on its back. Or if you took that feather and just flipped that feather over on its back, it would look black. It's only the light reflecting off the surface structure of that feather that's giving them those really pretty colors. Now his chest and this crescent or pendulous tail are another story. Those yellows, oranges, reds, and pinks in birds are actually a product of their diets. So they have a diet that's high in carotenoids. They incorporate those into their feathers. So the better their diet, the brighter their colors are, and the more attractive they are to potential mates. Because those birds have been better at finding food, so they're a better mate choice. Now, let's see if we get a couple more birds up, and I'll talk a little bit about forests as well. So all these birds are native to wetland habitats, but as I mentioned before, a lot of them live near forests or rely on forests for food, shelter, or nesting. And unfortunately, our forests are rapidly disappearing. We've lost about 46 million hectares in the past 100 years. That's about a third the size of Russia, and that is not sustainable. But there are great ways that you can help out at home to protect forests. One of those is by buying sustainable wood products. Look online, that was very close, I'm glad nobody was there. Look online or go on when you're going shopping, sustainable forestry label. That means that those wood products have been harvested with the intention of keeping those forests around. You can also buy sustainably when you're going grocery shopping. Think about what you want to eat for the week and only buy those items. That reduces our food waste and can really help reduce the need to make more of those agricultural areas by destroying forests. You've also helped by being here today. The National Aviary is a non-profit, and our proceeds go to conservation projects around the world. Some of those dealing with species that are extinct in the wild that we're trying to reintroduce back into the wild. Like our guam kingfishers, you can see canaries call. Those don't exist in the wild right now. They only exist in human care. And we're trying to change that in the next couple years. So thank you all so much for stopping by today. We appreciate all of you. Now, if anybody has any